Hi guys, so this is not my normal setup. I'm just coming from a job interview and I was like, let me record this. I was meant to record this yesterday, but I have been so busy. I have another video that I want to put out. It's a deep dive. It's on Logan Paul. I used the whole of yesterday to edit that, and today after my job interview, I was like, you know what, let me just record this and just talk about this video, because this video is a very heavy one. It's a very heavy topic, and there's just a lot that has gone on with this woman. And yeah, but please be kind, because I've seen so many unkind messages online, and at the end of the day, whatever happens to this woman, or whatever happened, or whatever you want to blame her for, which we'll get to in this video, remember that she had 2 children that were assaulted by the man that they believe to be their dad. And as someone who went through something similar when I was a child, literally when I was 5 years, is something that haunts you for the rest of your life. So that being said, I'm just going to watch this video with you guys, some parts of it, and I'm going to put it at 2 times because she was talking a bit slow, which did not work for me, and the pauses in between her speaking was just not good for my brain. So I'm going to put it to like 2 times, or 1.75 for those who like things like that. But that being said, let's get into this video.
Hi trophies, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you hear any noise in the background, that's the new baby. A lot has happened since the last time that I recorded. I think the last time you guys saw me, I was in my 2nd trimester, and yeah, I think I did post an update in the community section when the baby was born, and I said that I would be back soon. That was a few months ago now. I thought that when I came back on here that it would be to maybe do like some kind of newborn favorites or meet my new baby or something like that, but unfortunately, it's been a little over a month since I had to end up leaving my husband. I honestly don't even really know where to start with this, just because it's just such a hard topic. And I honestly thought that by the time I got on here that I wouldn't have any tears left, because I've just cried so much. It's like I built this channel and this whole brand around being this man's wife and trying to teach other women how to attract good men and provider men and all these different things. And I truly held my husband, or saw him, as the bar for what every woman should, the type of man that, or type of husband that every woman should aspire to have. And I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare. So basically, when I first met my husband, as I've already talked about in another video, I think it was my single mom video, I explained, a little bit about how we met. And I really thought that that man was my Prince Charming. So when I first met my husband, I thought that he was my Prince Charming. I thought that he was my knight in shining armor, and he portrayed himself to be this amazing, upright, righteous Christian man, and I believed him. I think shortly after we got married, and this is something that I haven't talked about, I started noticing like certain things changed with him, and I just started to see a few things that I didn't like, but I honestly thought that some of these were things that I could get past.
I don't know if you guys have caught that. She said he raped me 4 times in the first few months of our marriage. and that should have been the first red flag, but we're going to get into it. So she said he raped her 4 times in the first few months of their marriage. That should have been like a red flag, but let's continue.
Where to start? 6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive, and immediately my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh God. So I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was Dad. I felt like my world ended that day. My husband wasn't home at the time when she told me, but I knew he would be coming home soon, so all I could do was just say, don't tell him that you told me. And I just instantly started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house, because I knew if I confronted him or asked him about it, that he would just lie, and that he would probably just continue to keep doing stuff to her, but just become more covert or more sneaky or whatever. As soon as my husband got home, he was actually picking up the boys from school, my 2 older boys from school. As soon as he got home, I told him that I was going to go Halloween shopping with my sister, because I just needed an excuse to get out of the house with all the kids. And I knew if I said something like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, that it would be suspicious. Like, why am I bringing all the kids, and like packing things, like things that we would need and things like that. So going Halloween shopping was the best thing I could think of to just hurry up and get the kids out of the house. I'm sorry, I had to get myself together. So when I got to the hospital, they basically told me that we had to go to another hospital because they didn't do physical exams, like that kind of physical exam there. So a police officer escorted the kids and I to another hospital where they were able to evaluate my daughters. It ended up coming out that he had actually been touching both of my daughters. They were only 2 and 4 years old.
Literally, I'm having goosebumps. Like, I first watched this when it was I think the second day too. Then it had like, was it like 30k views? At first I thought it was clickbait, and when I watched it, I was like, what? 2 and 4 years old? Like, my question is, how do you get attracted to someone that age? And how do you get attracted to someone that age? Not only that age, your own flesh and blood, your own daughter. Like, it is so weird. I can't even get my mind across it. Like, I can't even think about it. These are children. These are your children. These are people that look up to you. Like, these girls, they look up to you. They see you as their dad. And I want to big up her for not looking the other way, because first of all, her husband is a very rich guy. We're going to get into that. Her husband is a very rich guy, and I want to big her up for not looking down on her children or looking the other way. Some people will be like, I'm enjoying all these benefits, I'm just going to look at the other way. I don't know if you guys watched the Menendez brothers. Allegedly, their mom knew that their dad was allegedly abusing them and looked the other way, and because she was enjoying all these perks that came with getting married. And I'm glad that she took them to the hospital, although it's so heartbreaking that the man assaulted his 2 daughters. As a child, when I was assaulted, I didn't get this support. I didn't get the kind of support I needed from an adult, and I literally had to deal with my trauma from when I became an adult. And even when I had recurring events, I couldn't tell anybody, I couldn't tell anyone, because I had gone through it and it felt like nobody cared. So I couldn't tell anyone, and I buried some event in me that it took therapy for me to remember everyone and all the shit I went through as a child down to my teenage years to even being an adult. So I'm glad that, again, her channel has a theme. She's gone against the theme of her channel to call out the man whom she was praising. But let's continue.
It still feels like a dream. Like, when this first happened, I just kept waking up every day just hoping that this was a dream. Because it's literally my worst nightmare. It's my worst nightmare. I myself am a product of RAPE. That's how I came to be. And was also, abused as a child by a neighbor's husband. And
I think I want to say is it's the people around you, honestly. It's the people around you. Some people think it's one stranger. No, it's Uncle Tom. Like, literally, when it came to me, it was the people around me. It was the people, my uncles, my dad's best friend. Like, literally, the people around you. You would think, oh, it's a stranger. It's someone across the road. That rarely happens. When it comes to cases like this, it's mostly the people around you. And honestly, I don't think you ever truly heal. I don't think you ever truly heal. I suffer from flashbacks, anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. And it's something I try to manage. I manage, but there's sometimes you just cannot. There's sometimes you can't. And honestly, I'm proud of her for at least coming and just, speaking on it.
I specifically prayed to God that my children would never, ever, ever have to go through this. And I'm just not quite sure how this happened, why this happened. I just don't know how he was able to get away with it and so sneaky. Because of my own trauma, I watch my kids like a hawk. Like, I don't like them sitting on people's laps. None of that. And he knows how much I cannot stand men like him. And to think like I couldn't even go to sleep in my own house and know that my children are safe.
It's so sad. It's really sad. And again, me personally, I do not want to be pregnant. I don't want to be pregnant because of things like this, because I'm just so scared for my child to experience what I experienced. So I can understand her coming from a place where she's like, I watch my child as a hawk, because if you've gone through that, you would not want someone you love to go through that. I don't want to be pregnant. I've always sought adoption. I'm going to adopt a child. I feel like I'm going to feel so guilty bringing a child into this world and the child not being safe. That's my own personal opinion. So I can understand her saying she watches her children as a hawk. But let's continue.
Just by me going to sleep, my children were left unprotected. So I don't know what the future of this channel is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to change the name or what. Yeah.
So her name is Isis, and her channel is The New Trophy Wife, and she's like become the ultimate woman. She had an about section where she was speaking about the about of her channel, basically hypergamy. And in case you don't know what hypergamy is the practice of dating or marrying someone of a higher social status or sexual capital than oneself. It can refer to the act of consciously trying to replace a current partner with someone considered superior. And I'm not against someone who chooses to date someone above their tax bracket. Like, I'm African, I'm Nigerian. Like, there's nothing that would make your parents more proud than bringing someone who has wealth, money, everything. Like, I'm just being very, very realistic. But my own is, if you make that the sole purpose without checking the other characteristics that makes this person, then that's where the problem is. In as much as African and Nigerian men would want their daughter or their son to bring a high value person, they know the risk of that, so they do background checks. They check the family you're from, they check what the husband does, they check the church, they even check if there's been a history of suicide. In some families, they do that. If there's been a history of suicide in the family, they check it, which I don't know how to feel about that, but they do check it. Even though they may want their child, their daughter, to live this life of luxury, of being pampered, they still do check all this, because no matter what, it's still very, very necessary. Money is not the only thing that would hold a marriage together. It isn't. So this woman on her channel, she gave so many videos in which I think she's deleted some of them. So she had so many videos, the big brain and the little brain, the two sides of him, when to know when to walk away. Your thoughts and emotions are controlling you. Yeah, but there's a video of her that is recently going viral. So there's a thumbnail here that says married in 1 week. And another video of her saying how to secure a provider man. It's all about the chase.
Ladies, welcome back to The New Trophy Wife. Today, I'm going to be sharing my story with you guys about how I went from being a single mom to a spoiled housewife in less than 1 year. And you can too. So, I had my first child when I was 17 years old. I intentionally got pregnant with my boyfriend at the time and basically turned into a child raising a child. A few years later, had my second child. So, after having 2 children and being a single mom, I think that my self-esteem was definitely low. I didn't know that at the time, but if I think back about the kind of men that I was choosing, it definitely was a reflection of my lower self-esteem. I think that growing up, I was not taught the kind of men that I should be looking to attract and be in a relationship with. My mom drilled into me, oh, go with the man that's gonna be the best for you. And I think society drilled into me to go after the thug, the street dude, the swag type dude, or whatever you want to call it. But neither one of those was the best approach to going about dating and attracting a husband. So after having my second child, I was working hard. I was making really good money. I think I was making about maybe 90K at the time, which for me as a 24-year-old woman was good. I thought I was doing good. I had my own place. I owned my car. I was very self-sufficient, all about the mindset of, oh, I can do it by myself. I don't need a man, as so many of us modern women say, I can do it all by myself. And I soon realized after one Christmas of it just being me and my 2 boys that I wanted a family. I wanted more for myself. It felt so lonely, and it was sad. It was really sad. And it was, I'd say, one of the lowest points in my life. And I realized that I don't want to do this on my own. I don't want to raise these boys on my own. I want a family. I want someone that I can love, someone that loves me and my children. And after that was when I decided that I was going to change the kind of men I was dating and what I was attracting. One of my sisters at the time had told me that I should create an online profile, and I was so against doing that because I was like, well, online profiles are only for people that are desperate, and I look good. I'm not desperate. I don't need to, I can find a man just going out. And I was against it at first. And I think I also had a skewed version of what a high value man was at the time as well. I thought that a good mate or the man to go after was the one with the super nice car and a stack of money and the jewels and the chains on with the swag. Like, I thought that was the man that I should be going after, but that was definitely not the type of man that I should have been going after. And I learned quickly that just because someone looks like they have it together does not mean that they have it together. And typically the things that person is probably doing to get money is not sustainable and probably not something that you would want to be involved in. And after learning quickly that everything that glitters is not gold, I happened to come across Shira7 on YouTube, and she completely changed my life. And she basically taught me what a high value man is.
So if you don't know who Shira is, obviously, I don't know if you know Sprinkle. So she's the one, she's hypergamy herself. She's married to a rich man. She teaches how to get a high value man. But the thing is, the difference between Shira and her is that Shira, she preaches not to be desperate. You should be smart. But we'll see later on that this woman was not smart. And literally, I can see the picture of the man back there. If you guys can hear a child cry, my housemate has a son. I can see a picture of a man down there, so I'm assuming that is the man that got married. That's out the daughter. Very, very disgusting of him. This is just sad. Like 2 years and 4 years when she was changing her daughter, the pain, the color, everything. Just imagine how fidgety the child would have been. It is so sad, and I just want to big her up for like listening to her child and being smart about the way she handled it, because some people would have just come and start shouting. I personally, I think I would have done that. But the fact that she was very smart to just know to just lie and say they were going for Halloween shopping and getting the police involved, because I think she mentioned the police went with them to the hospital. Who knows? What if she had passed out and he killed her or something? Like, these people can be crazy.
Let's continue. And what to look for when trying to find a husband. So I ended up taking my sister's advice and signing up for eHarmony. Yeah, she recommended Match, but in my spirit, I felt eHarmony. I don't know why. It's just something told me to do that one. So I ended up signing up for eHarmony. I created a profile, and I think the second person that I matched with was the man that I'm married to now, my husband. And it was very different. My husband and I had a 20-year age gap, and he was not the first older man that I dated. I actually dated someone 10 years older than me, and that was just a buzz. A lot of people have told me that I'm very mature for my age, so someone 10 years older than me just wasn't a big enough age gap for me.
Okay, another red flag. You should not be telling children that they are older than their age. Let children be children. At first, even me when I was a child, people were like, oh, you're older than your age. And it's mostly all those creepy uncles. You're older than your age, or you look older than your age, you act older than your age. That is a creepy thing to tell a child, and I heard that a lot as a child. But when you grow up, you're like, that shouldn't have been in anybody's mind. You act older than your age. You're more mature for your age. I think I said in one of my videos, the Jojo Siwa video, that when I was 12, I dated someone that was 21 years old. I was like my third year in secondary school. Because my secondary school was in Nigeria, so the system is different. So I was in JS3 if you're Nigerian and you're watching this. And I was dating someone that was in his second year in university. And the thing is, then I thought that I was doing the right thing, because I'm like, oh, I'm dating an older guy. But then again, that was predatory. Thank God nothing sexual happened. But that was not it didn't end there. Growing up, getting older, you're dating people older than you, because I thought that was it. That was how it should be.
To vibe with. It just wasn't. Yeah. And so when I met my husband, I knew right away almost, and people say that, but it was definitely true. I know it sounds cliche. Just from our first date, it just felt natural. I felt like I just had known this person already. It was so comfortable. So we went to a really nice seafood restaurant, and it was great. It was an amazing first date. And mind you, I think we both were kind of just dating different people at the time. And that's definitely something that I recommend if you're looking to, find a husband. It's not just dating one person at a time. It's not good to put all your eggs in one basket. But we had a great first date, and I think he ended up asking me to be his girlfriend on the first date. And I said I would think about it.
Okay, first of all, another red flag. Being on a date with someone and the person asks you to be your girlfriend or their boyfriend that very first day, yeah, that's a major red flag, because why are you rushing to? I don't even know anything about you. I don't know anything about you. So obviously there are people who get married in a week, meet in a week, get married. They've been together 40, 50 years. But I want to tell you, let's be realistic. Do you think that 40, 50 years was very smooth? Because you're just knowing this person. You don't know what they like, what they hate. Like, you don't know it, and you're just getting into it. The people who have stayed there for that long, in my own opinion, they've intentionally stayed in that relationship just to make it work. But is it the smartest thing to do? No. Personally, I would advise you, if you're in a relationship, really sit down and get to know this person. Really sit down and get to know this person. So the person asked, can you be my girlfriend? On the first day. first red flag, honestly.
I know that the universe guru talks about how you shouldn't fall into the girlfriend trap, and it was kind of something that I just intuitively knew, like, I'm not just going to agree to be your girlfriend just after meeting you, because I know that you just want me to be your girlfriend so that you can get in my hands. So I didn't agree, and we both were, we were talking, but then for some reason we kind of stopped talking for a little while, and we both were dating other people and doing our own thing, and then I had gotten into a serious relationship with somebody, and I ended up falling for the girlfriend trap, but that guy had really investing a lot into me and doing a lot for me, so I kind of felt like I had to agree to be his girlfriend, because he asked me multiple times, and I finally agreed. So after me and him broke up, well, let me rewind. So we ended up breaking up because he just didn't really vibe with my oldest son, who was 5 at the time. I could tell that he was really just putting up with my kids. He didn't really embrace them. Sometimes, we as mothers can tell, like, someone's just being nice to our kids for the purpose of being with you, and they're not necessarily invested in your kids.
Sorry, I keep cutting this. I'm also grateful that she puts her children above everything. Like, I'm glad she does that, because again, there are people who don't give a fuck about their children. Like, there are people who don't care about their children. So I'm really, really glad that she puts her children above these people.
And that's what I felt like from him. So it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel like a family, the kind of family that I was wanting. So I ended up breaking up with him, and we were living together. And I just, like, packed on my stuff and left. And it was crazy because the next day, my now husband, reached out to me and was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I told him, I just got out of a relationship, and I kind of told him a little bit about why. And he was telling me, like, "Oh, those are my boys," and he had genuinely really connected with my kids, and he was not the kind of man that was just being.
Okay, I'm so confused. So, okay. I think I've got something on here. I'm so confused. You met this guy on the first date, and then started dating another person. So how did your kids get to meet the man, or how did the man get to meet your kids? Like, that's what I'm confused. How did the man get to meet your kids saying, "Oh, those are my boys," and you already know that he connected genuinely with your kids? Are you showing your kids to different men? Like, let's be realistic, because that's how it feels like right now. Are you showing your kids to different men? If you watch my video on the Jenkins family, I spoke about how it's very, very unsafe, because according to the woman, she said, "Oh, I met him during the pandemic and he moved in." This man moved in with his son, and she had 2 children, 2 daughters. So you brought in a stranger to move in within a month into your house where you had 2 girls. So you brought in a stranger to move in with his son into a house where you had 2 girls. In what world is that okay? And I'm sure you'll be like, "Oh, they are young boys. Boys to get molested too. They just don't talk about it. Boys to get molested. They just don't talk about it." Honestly, like, leave your children out of it. Even Sprinkle, she says, date when your children have grown and are able to speak up. Date when your children have grown up and are able to speak up. Date then. Because this is sad. Honestly, this is really sad. I call this the curse of hypergamy. Honestly,
He really embraced the fact that I had children because he wanted children. And so, he was talking, my lease was going to be ending very soon, which is why I went ahead and moved in with my person that became my ex. We started living together, and I told my husband, I was like, "Hey," it was so embarrassing to admit, I was like, "I need a place to stay because my lease is ending, and I just broke up with my boyfriend, and even if it's just like for a couple weeks, it's okay. Just want to look for, somewhere else, because I had planned on needing to find somewhere else." And he was saying, "Well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife, not as my girlfriend." And I was like, "Well,
why are you putting this man why are you going from one man's house to another, like literally the next day? Why? This is not a flex. Honestly, this is not a flex. Why are you going from one man's house to the other with your children? This is not a flex. This is, if you want to date, this is desperation. Let's just say as it is. This is desperation 1, and this is not going after a high value man. when it comes to going after high value people, especially if you're in a heterosexual relationship, yeah, and you want to be the trophy wife, you let the man work for you. That's what I've gotten from this, like from my videos I see online. Like, the man has to work for you.
Oh, how spontaneous are you? And he laughed and he said, very spontaneous. So then I was like, right. So we started entertaining the idea of getting married, like immediately. And I, didn't want to get my hopes up. So I just said that, he's saying all these things, but I'm going to see what action that he takes. And so I had just got paid and I was like, okay, it seems like we're really talking about seriously entertaining the idea of getting married. So I'm going to go and get the wedding ring. We were talking about getting married like the next week, and he was out of town in Colorado. So we hadn't seen each other. This is all.
Exactly. This is what I said. Desperation sets in. Trophy wives are not desperate. Even if you're desperate, you don't show it. You do not show it. You don't show it. Like, honestly, like, I'm trying so hard not to blame her, but like, the red flags were red flagging. I'm sure her past video that she was like, he outed her when they got married. That's a red flag. That is a red flag. And you know what's funny? Your husband argued the first time when you got married. Cool. And you went ahead to do all these videos. Again, I used to tell you people, social media is not real life. Social media is not real life. People go through things they don't want you to see in real life. Like, literally, this year, 2024, has not been kind to me at all. But you guys would not know. You guys wouldn't know if I don't say it. Like, social media is not real life. Social media is not real life. That's what I want you guys to know. And it's so sad that people come out, say all these things on social media, and when they say all these things on social media, there are people who listen and want to be like them. You don't know what they are going through in their personal life. You don't. Comparison is a thief of joy.
So I went and got his ring. I think I paid like $300 for it. It wasn't like a super flashy ring.
And she went to buy a ring. She went to buy a ring. I personally believe that it should be the man to propose to the woman. And if the man is wasting your time and is not showing that he's serious, there will be someone out there that will be very serious. That may be a controversial take, but it's a take that comes with self-respect. And I stand by that. It's better for you to live with your dignity. Because what is it going to buy a ring for a man?
Well, he does now, which is completely a lot better. But I went and got his ring, and the next time we talked on FaceTime, I was like, I did something. And he was like, what did you do? I was like, I got your wedding ring. So he was like, no, you didn't. Show me. So I showed him. I said, yeah, I actually did it. I don't know if you were really being serious, but we're talking about getting married. So I had a really bad habit of like spending money. And I was like, I don't get that.
Like, literally, Nigerian men will call you my wife. Their friends will call you my wife, our wife. And your boyfriend is cheating with another woman and everybody knows. So, like, if someone wants to be like, oh, we are getting married, oh, my wife, like, personally, I would not take you serious until you match your words with your actions. Literally. He just said, oh, you're going to move in as my wife. To me, that sounded like a flirtatious thing. I wouldn't hear that on the first date or the first time after a very long time and think, oh, yeah, we're going to get married. I wouldn't. I would be like, stop flirting with me. Or maybe because I'm just Nigerian enough. I don't know.
No, I'm not gonna get it. So we're gonna got it. And that put the fire under him to, I guess, really go and look for my ring. Let me rewind. So then after that, I think it was like the next day, somebody told me to go online and check my eHarmony profile. So I went on there and I saw that he updated his picture. And I was like, oh no, this dude is playing around. Like, I'm glad I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on this ring. Like, he was just playing. And I screenshotted it and sent him a picture. And I said, it doesn't seem like we're on the same page. So yeah, I'm done with this. And he texted me. He was like, I think you should have called me. I didn't answer. And he texted me and he was like, no, I'm serious. I am going to marry you in caps. And I think that evening he like ended up going and buying my ring. He went and bought my ring. And the ring that he got me is not the ring I have now. It was a nice ring, but it wasn't nearly as big as the rock that I'm currently sporting. But when he showed it to me, in my head, I said, it's not about the ring, it's about the marriage. And I definitely think that that's something that you ladies should keep in mind, is that if a man's going to propose to you, don't make it about the ring, because that can really turn a man off and make him think that that's all that you care about is having a big ring, when it's more important to have the marriage. And I knew that in my heart. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna say anything about the size of the ring. You know, still a nice ring. I'm gonna take it and we're gonna get married. So we ended up getting married the next week. Everybody was shocked. I randomly called my mom, my grandmother, hey, I'm getting married in a few days. We had, we got married at the courthouse because I told him I don't need a big wedding. I'd rather spend that money elsewhere. And we had a really beautiful wedding reception in DC at a really nice restaurant. It was gorgeous. So yeah, that is how I ended up getting married. But I think that also something that I want to let you guys know is that becoming his wife and really being the kind of woman that could just get a ring like that took work. At that time, I had really become a better version of myself, a better version of the woman that was dating thugs and, living in some kind of secular lifestyle. I had to.
Not her talking down on thugs. Not her talking down on thugs. Oh my god, like literally. Not her talking down on thugs. Personally, I feel like this man was pressured to marry her. That's how I feel. And again, it shouldn't have to be that way. Like, getting married in a week after you left your boyfriend. Yeah. I don't know in what universe is that a smart thing to do. But how to secure a provider, man, it's all about the chase. Let's see how she chased. This is 25 minutes. This is long. Normally when I'm doing like videos, I watch and then I come back and I watch. I hardly sit down in a stretch, or I'm doing something. Either I'm cooking or I'm literally doing my makeup or something. That's how I watch videos. I don't just like sit down and just, But I'm going to do that for you guys. I have not watched this one, but after this one, I don't think I'm going to watch anything again. Okay guys, I spoke too soon. Immediately after finished recording this video, I saw a video of her past lives. So basically, this woman will be doing live on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And there's a particular, not even one, like two different particular scenarios where she was doing live and her daughter, one of her daughter, was literally wailing and crying while her husband could be heard upstairs. And her daughter was saying, ow, ow, ow. Like, I'm going to put the clip after this. It just didn't sit well with my spirit. Oh my God. I am so livid right now, because how do you stay, your child is crying and your primary focus is the live? You don't even want to check what is going on, what is making your child cry. I don't have a child, but I have a pet. And when my pet is like crying or meowing too much, I literally stand up to go and find out why he's meowing. If I can do that for a pet, a cat, then talk more of a child. I'm literally livid right now. Like, I'm so livid. I'm going to play after this because I was here like literally having all this empathy, and I think it's a thing where I don't even want to say, oh my God, like, you guys, I'm going to play after this. Please, you guys, please let me know what you guys think, because at this point,
hard because I stayed in situations much longer than I had to because I had children in those situations. So I understand the struggle of that, definitely. But there's that saying, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you'll make a change, and that's very true. So it's just all about whenever you have the courage to do that. Sorry if my house is noisy in the background. I don't know how much you all can hear, but there's so many of us that it's just like that. So if you hear stuff in the background, just act like you don't.
I showed my baby sister video about dating. If you guys can hear my daughter, she's upstairs with my husband being cranky. So I just don't know how he was able to get away with it and so sneaky, because with my own trauma, I watch my kids like a hawk.
Oh. If you hear my kids in the background, they're with daddy.
You can easily click off if you don't agree. And to be honest, I really don't care who doesn't agree, because at the end of the day, I really don't have to be doing this. I don't have to work. I'm still, whether you like me or not, I'm still going to be rocking Chanel and driving a Porsche. So, you know, was that earlier today or yesterday? Like, oh, I could never date an older man. I can never date a man that doesn't have any swag. Why are you here? Why are you here? You are not ready. You are not going to get this lifestyle because you don't deserve it. So, as we know, most men don't prefer to date women that have already had children with somebody else. But if a man sees a woman who is a single mom being such a great mom, then it'll make him a lot more likely to reconsider dating someone with children. It's actually super sexy to see a woman mothering her children well and creating a beautiful family environment. Don't get caught looking dry, okay? Because if I catch you looking dry, -5 points. No, minus 20 points if you're looking ashy. You don't deserve to be a trophy if you're looking ashy, okay? Men pay attention to these things. Another thing I notice, women, if you have arm hair, look at your arms right now. If there's hair on your arms, shave it off. Go upstairs and shave it off, because that's looking real masculine. It's looking real crazy.
High value. I'm not against people who go after high value men. I'm not against people who go after high value men. Like, date who you want to date. Everybody has a type. Date who you want to date. Even me, I'm not going to date someone who doesn't have anything to bring to the table. But then don't only look at the pocket, because if a man finds out that you're after them for the money, they're going to just do anything because they think that you would stay because of the money. That's why I'm like, I'm proud of her for not looking at the money at that point and protecting her children. That's why they think they can do whatever they can, because they're like, oh, she's going to stay with me because of the money. But if you want someone for the money, also look at other qualities of this person. This person sexually assaulted during the first few months of your marriage. Why did you stay? Why did you stay? You had sons then. Like, look at Diddy. Allegedly, he's done both men and women, both young boys and young girls. Most of these people, they do both young boys and young girls. And another reason why I'm shocked is that this is 2024. Why are people still doing this? I would not even say I could understand, but back then it wasn't as regulated. Like, the law was not as regulated as it is now. And people still want to be on that registrar. They do all this nonsense to be on that registrar. Like, are people not learning from people who have been there? How do people find young people so attractive? How do you find your own daughter so attractive? How? If you want to be with your own high value man, your own rich man, whatever, cool. But look at other characteristics. Look at the other characteristics of this person. Is this person spiritual? Is this person kind? Is he humble? Is he loving? Is he proud? And you yourself, even though you want to practice hypergamy, you have to also bring something into the table. Carry yourself well. Bring something, or at least pretend that you are. This is life. This is the world that we are living in. This is 2024. Even though the man may be rich, everybody would want to feel appreciated for the hard work they are putting or for the gift they are putting into you. But this is so sad. People are coming after her. Yeah, she gave us a facade as if everything was so good in her marriage and everything. But at the end of the day, we just found out that a lot has been going on, and this man has been touching those poor girls. Just wish he should ask the sons if he's been touched too, because the fact that he was just ready and willing to just embrace those boys like so quickly, oh, those are my boys. You know, my cat is about to use the toilet. So in case you guys hear any scratching, he's in his toilet. It's just so sad. Like, It's just so sad. Don't believe all these things you see online, following sprinkle. Be wise, be smart. So I personally, I don't listen to people that come out and give relationship advice and all these things. The only relationship advice that I listen to are from the real Yanni and Queen Chema, because those are people who give relationship advice with sense and are very realistic. Those are the realistic people. But there's some people that I'm like, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying?
My first ring was 10 grand, so it wasn't a super expensive ring. And the ring I have now is 20 grand. But I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to upgrade. When I met him, but the first car he bought me was my Porsche. That was our first Christmas together. And before that, he already had a Range Rover, so that's what I drove when we first got married. So I just drove the Range Rover, and then I picked up my own car. What do you think? Is it good? And since then, I have quite a few cars. It's easier to get my husband to buy me a car than to buy me a handbag. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. I drive all the foreigns. The foreigns are for me. Our family vehicle, it's like a big body Mercedes. That's the one that we typically drive if it's like all of us, because it's a 7-seater. He will drive that when we go out as a family. But if he's by himself, he's just going to drive the truck, and I'll drive whatever car I'm in the mood to drive. But to be honest, I'll typically just drive the Mercedes because that's just the car I'm used to driving. And it's high, so with me having heels on, I don't have to like get too low. The Porsche is very low, so I'm typically never going to drive the Porsche in the wintertime because it's just too much. And he bought me an X5 for what birthday was that? My 26th birthday. I got an X5. I don't really drive that one as much since he bought me the Mercedes, so that one kind of just sits.
I'm still, whether you like me or not, I'm still going to be rocking Chanel and driving a Porsche. So
after this went viral, she decided to clap back at people, and she said, "I'm so tired of misinformation. My daughters are his biological children. This could have happened to anyone." That part I would like to say is debatable, but we move. Also, I knew this man for a 6-month period before I became his wife. But I'm so confused. I thought she said she was dating other people and he was dating other people. And when she broke up with her man, she moved in with him literally that same week. Yes, I ran a background check. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I do not believe she ran a background check on him. How many people, let's be realistic, how many people run background checks on the people they end up with? How many people? I'm not stupid enough to date online without one. Again, I don't believe that. I really don't. You moved in with the person literally that same week. I don't believe that. He had no prior charges other than some speeding tickets. I saw every speeding he had ever had before I agreed to go on a first date. My dating profile said I had no children. Why did you lie on your dating profile? And if you said your dating profile said you had no children, then how come on one of your videos you said, "Oh, he said bring those boys, you know they are my boys"? Something is not adding up here. I never married for money. I married because he pretended to have all the same values as me. I married to build a family on a solid foundation. He never showed signs of being a PDF file. But yes, I'll take the blame. Me, I'm not going to blame her. Personally, I would not blame her. I think that's why people are getting it wrong. People are blaming her, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to blame her because I've not really seen people blame this man. I agree, there's no way she should have known this man was a PDF file. There's no way she would have known, because if she had known, she wouldn't have ended up with him. I'm not going to blame this woman. The man should be blamed. And again, where's the police report? Where's the police report? There's no police report. Has she put this man in prison? She's not said that. Some people just look at money and forget every other thing. As far as they're driving the Bentley, they're driving this or that. At the end of the day, nothing else matters. That's not how it should be. So she also has a GoFundMe, and there's a comment she left on one of her videos, and she said, "Thank you for your empathy. This man has done everything to break me, drained the account, cut off my cards, cut off the internet in the house, turned off my phone, had the family vehicle stolen. I've had to apply for food stamps. My children and I are struggling. I hate to even feel the need to justify needing help for 5 children after a situation such as this. People are people." Damn. Like, literally. I never saw this in my 2024 bingo card. The audacity. He still has audacity. He's not even remorseful. He's not remorseful. He still has the audacity to do all this because he was caught. Oh my God. The audacity. Why isn't he in jail? Why isn't he in prison? I want to see his mug shot. What's going on? What is going on for real? Let's see what the comment section is saying. Someone said, yes, they need to chase because they are predators, as you have now found out. The thing about predatory animals is that they are opportunistic and will go after a weakened young animal or anything around as long as it gets its desires met. Which is true. Even if you're chasing after money, you would not ignore every other thing. It will make you outspoken. It would let you, even if you're chasing money, even if you're chasing the bag. Why are you showing your children to different men? Why are you showing your children to different men? Why are you showing your children to different men? Why are you exposing your children to different men? Why? Children are so vulnerable. Why are you doing that? This is all I have. This is all I can say. I'm having goosebumps because I have such a very soft spot for children, especially female children. I have a very soft spot for them, and I just don't understand. I just don't understand. This is scary. Yeah. I have a lot to say even about the woman, but I just don't think this is the right time or this is the right time to say it. Time and place, I just wish the children, those girls, healing. I bless them with healing. I hope they are healed. But that being said, hi guys, my name is Joel. If this is your first time, please like, subscribe, share this video if you care. Let's get into the word for the day. I would leave you guys with this word from my journal. If you want to purchase a link, is in my description box. So the word for today says, in the garden of life, sow seeds of kindness and watch miracles bloom. In the garden of life, sow seeds of kindness and watch miracles bloom. So that's the word for today. But I think I'm going to end it here. I don't want to go on a whole rampage or whatever. I just want to bless those children and just hope that it gets better with time, because I think it does. Yeah. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if you're not subscribed, please kindly subscribe, and I'm going to speak to you guys soon. Bye.